is an Unspoiled Network podcast.
This is Unscrupled, covering Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 7, Episodes 7 and 8, right?
Yes.
Conversations with Dead People and Sleepless. Sleeper.
Yep.
Sleeper in Seattle, in Rancho Cucamonga.
Sleeper in a basement.
Welcome to Unscrupled. Hey, y'all.
Hey-o.
How's everyone? Say something if you're... Oh, wait. You're listening to me in the future. We've had a hard day and a hard week.
Yeah.
And these episodes were hard for you.
They were hard for everyone.
They weren't hard for me.
Oh, at the time, there was some backlash.
I don't know. Like, maybe I just, watch too many horror movies because I'm, kind of unfazed. Because I've seen, the Rapey Nerd show with the swords and the Rapture show. And, I'm just desensitized. I'm like, oh, you're talking to dead people and they hurt your feelings.
Yeah. So, I hate these episodes. I hate them.
Okay.
I hate them so much. The second one less than the first one. The Conversations with Dead People is in my top 5 least favorite Buffy episodes of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. The only good part of this episode is Amber Benson. You know why?
She's not there?
Right.
Okay.
You know why she's not there?
Because she got fired. I don't know.
Because the actress was so pissed about being killed off in that way, she refused to return.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
So...
Good for you.
I mean... Everybody's got a price.
Well, they didn't meet hers.
No, they didn't. That was what pissed me off the most. It's why is Willow talking to this bitch?
That she never did meet, when there's so many dead people she did meet.
Yeah, she met a lot of dead people.
Yeah.
She could be talking to...
Warren.
Larry.
Warren. She
Warren?
could be talking to the guy she killed.
I hadn't even thought of that. That's a good... Warren is busy, though.
Yeah.
So,
he's dead. He could be 2 places at once.
Can Warren be... omnipresent? There's just a Warren everywhere you look.
Oh, God. That sounds like a hell dimension.
Oh, yeah. A hell dimension is really unheard of on this show. All right. Let's talk, a bunch of people talk to dead people. So we're going to do our normal thing where we just knock out the different characters and the plot threads and what they're up to. Mm-hmm. So why don't you rattle off all the pairings we had?
Okay, so there's Buffy and some rando vampire named Holden, played by that guy that Joss likes to shoehorn into every single one of his series, and no one knows why, because he's not at all charismatic or interesting.
I really liked it.
I just hate the actor. He tastes like danger.
Okay.
Then there was Dawn, and she was visited by Joyce.
Yeah.
And a poltergeist.
Uh-huh.
Then we have Jonathon and Andrew. They were visited by Warren.
I liked this too.
Only Jonathon could see him.
No, only Andrew could see him.
Oh, you're right. Only Andrew could see him.
We're going to talk about that one last because I got a lot to say about the legacy of Jonathon.
Because it's your favorite.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Then we've got Willow and Cassie.
That was her name.
Yeah.
She's just a Zero Sky to me.
I know, right?
The bitch who dies.
Dies.
All she ever does.
Poor actress. And then we have Spike and various things going on with Spike. Sometimes his visitor's Buffy, sometimes it's himself, sometimes, his invisible friend is many things. And that's what we got.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's start with let's start with Xander and Anya. What the fuck were they doing? I don't even remember.
Let's see. So the Scooby Gang suspects that Spike is killing people again. And they needed someone to watch him so that they would know when he left the apartment.
Wasn't that the second episode?
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
They didn't figure that out until, like, Holden said...
So what the hell is Anya doing in this episode? Is she even in it?
She may not be in it.
I don't think she's in it, bro.
What is Xander up to?
Fuck all.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what y'all are doing. Like, everybody needs a break. So...
Yeah.
Maybe y'all can, like, sit alone in your apartments and hate each other.
Yeah, Xander doesn't get a special dead friend, so...
Right. Yeah, I knew that. I just didn't know if he actually did anything.
Yeah, I don't think he does anything much.
Sorry, guys. It's been a week since we watched this because last week we were just fucking done with the day. We're like, let's go put some booze in us in a place that has not straight people around.
Yeah, that's where we're at, where we're turning to liquor to soothe our to soothe our wounds, and we really haven't done that in a really long time. We kind of got out of that circle, so it's a big deal that we've been drinking.
So at least one person in our household doesn't drink, so we've just, and I gotta say, like, I'm kind of enjoying not drinking all the time.
Yeah, like, I really don't miss it the way I thought I would.
Yeah, and then it does make it difficult. It's like, well, I'm kind of in the mood for a drink. I don't want to drink around this person who doesn't drink. So where and when can I do that? But just, like, that's every couple of months. It's not every day.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not tempted every time I order a pizza. Like, let's crack open a few beers. And
yeah.
So...
But also, kids, it took a hot minute to get to this thing. The first couple of months were hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, I bought a bottle of wine at my birthday over 2 months ago, and I just finished it this weekend.
Yeah. Isn't that nice? It's so much cheaper, too.
Yeah, God.
Yeah.
Going out to dinner and not ordering drinks, like, you save so much fucking money.
It's true.
Anyway, yeah, so we're a week behind and we're doing our best to remember everything that's going on. I strangely have a better memory than most people I know. I don't know why that is.
'Cause you're brilliant.
Okay. I don't feel particularly brilliant. Anyway, like, so who should we talk about first? Let's talk about... Which one do you hate the most?
Dawn and Joyce.
Dawn and Joyce. Okay, let's talk about Dawn and Joyce.
This was scary, you guys. I hate scary. I hate it so much. And why you're making scary things about a 15-year-old girl and her dead mother, for Christ's sake.
I think this was the most relatable I have ever seen Dawn. You know why? Because there's no adults around and she's fucking up the house.
Oh, yeah. That was like 100% teenager. Like,
oh, my God. I was like, Dawn, you little... Oh, my God, I probably did that. My BB gun has gone off in my parents' house so many damn times.
Yeah, it's like, no one's here. I'm going to do experiments.
I'm going to fire a crossbow in the wall. And you know what? She got away with it because the house was fucked up.
You know what? Somewhere deep in her heart, that's the only comfort she can take.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I got away with that.
Yeah, so...
But we don't have a TV anymore because I smashed it.
Yeah, so she's fucking around and she starts to get visited. I think it's first at the radio, right?
Yeah, I think so. And, like, maybe it was the TV. Oh, yeah, she's watching an old horror movie. And she hears some knocks and, like, bumps and, like, bangs. She's hearing bangs in her house while she's on the phone with some rando from school.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, do you have bangs where you are? Because I'm having bangs. And the rando's like, nah, brah.
They really need to establish who Dawn's friends are. This has been a big disappointment for me this season in the kind of, like, everyone's kind of being an adult and dealing with adult things. With a supernatural bent. But, like, when this season opened, we got Dawn being in high school and making friends and kind of being in the Buffy position. So I was kind of looking forward to Dawn kind of having her own thing going on.
Well, this friend has a name according to, Buffypedia, and it's Kit.
Is that the black friend from the day her mom died?
I have no fucking idea. Like, we don't get to see Kid. I saw the same episode you did. Yeah, but so, yeah, she starts hearing these knocks and the phone line cuts out and then all of a sudden, like, the TV's going crazy and the electronics are all being loud and she starts smashing shit with weapons and running around, and she starts getting flashes of her dead mom on the couch and like an evil demon's like crouching over her, sucking out her essence or something. It's fucking scary, guys. It is horrifying, and I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Do you know what was a mindfuck this weekend?
What?
I was watching a random ass YouTube video, and I realized that I've seen the actress who played Joyce before.
Yeah.
You know where?
Where?
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. She played the mom next door.
I was waiting for you to find that.
Yeah. So, that woman doesn't fucking age either.
No.
She looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
10 years later?
Something like that. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids
like
was
the only thing that has changed is her haircut.
Yeah, she just got mommer hair.
You know what? She's a fucking vampire.
Well, I mean, that follows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, this was a lot, but I have a much higher tolerance for horror than you do. So
yes.
this is really nothing new to me. So like shit's going down. The radio won't stop. The TV won't stop. She's seeing visions of her mom's corpse on the couch, which she never saw.
Did she never see that?
No, she didn't. Like, she was at school.
Oh, and they probably made sure that it was gone before she got home.
Yeah, it was gone before she got home.
Ooh.
So, yeah, where did that come from? Anyway.
Well, I mean, they probably told her what.
I'm just overthinking it. They're like, here's a disturbing shot from 2 seasons ago. Let's put it in.
Well, we know that there's a malevolent force that is fucking with her. And what's the most horrifying thing you can see? For Dawn, I mean, Dawn's been through some shit. So pretty much Horror Max is going to be someone she loves.
See, this gets into a part of the conversation I didn't want to get into yet, but like,
okay,
we're seeing Joyce's corpse on the, I hate that word. We're seeing Joyce's dead body on the couch. Dawn never saw this. Mm-hmm. So it leads me to question, like, can he plumb Buffy's mind for this disturb? How does he know? How does they know what that looked like? How did they get it right? So it leads me to questions of like, what is this being capable of doing? And I'm kind of afraid to like think about this too hard, because I know this show has a tendency to just like make something up at the last minute. Because I think the biggest disappointment in this show, aside from the Anya thing that I screamed about 2 weeks ago, is the fact that the mayor's box was full of spiders.
Really?
It's just like, it's this important thing, and it's just this stupid thing that they thought would look cool, you know?
Yeah.
I want them to think through this stuff before they introduce it.
The box full of spiders that he then had to eat.
I
gross.
get that it's being gross out and stuff, but it doesn't feel like it has any weight. It feels like it's added for comedy.
Okay. I don't see anything wrong with the box of spiders for comedy.
This box is going to give him magic powers, so I would expect like a knife or a stone or a mushroom or something. Like, no, it's spiders and you have to eat it.
You're mad that they thought outside the box.
They didn't think outside the box. They pulled something out of their ass. It's two very different things. I'm going to spin the bottle. What do I get? Dartboard. Spiders that he has to fuck, put to sleep, dance, eat. Let's go with eat. Mix a verb and a noun.
They've got dice.
Yes.
I'm going to lick your spiders. What? Whose dice are these?
It's also like far from the most gruesome thing we've seen.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just, if you're building up to something like that, it's got to be worth the build up. And if it's something that was an idea you cut from an episode of season 1, don't care. Anyway, the story of the mayor is fine. It's just this particular MacGuffin just was ridiculous and boring enough that I didn't care.
Okay, that's fair.
Anyway, what I'm getting at is, if I think too hard about this, I'm just going to inevitably be disappointed, because they're just going to make something up without... I don't think they've thought through this lore of how it actually works. and what the rules are for this particular demon thingy.
Okay, that is,
do you know why?
an opinion.
Because this demon thingy, like, we've seen examples of it appearing as people who are still alive several times. If it was just dead people, that's parameters I can accept. But now I can appear as anyone.
Oh yeah, in this episode, it appears as Buffy.
Yeah.
But Buffy did die twice.
Drusilla didn't.
Drusilla died once and became a vampire. As did Spike.
Okay.
At no point does the thing portray anyone who has not died at least once.
Okay, that's an interesting twist.
Yeah.
Are they going to stick to that?
Who's to say?
Still feel like it's cheating, but whatever.
Anything referencing Buffy's various deaths is cheating.
Right.
But, yeah, so okay, other than it being fucking horrifying and
here's why I'm into this. Like,
okay.
I want to, like, because this season opened with Spike seeing all the antagonists except for Angelus.
Uh-huh.
The antagonists I like. Spike, Angelus, the mayor. Who else did I like? Warren. These are people who have specific, defined goals. Mm-hmm. Right? They are either trying to achieve something or acting irrationally because they're stupid. The ones I don't like, the Master, Glory, Adam, are trying to do these grandiose things to take over the world. And it's just, they kind of throw ideas at the wall until they find something that sticks of what they can do. It's like, Glory is a god, but she requires a regular snake to make a giant snake. It's just, yeah. Adam is the most powerful thing on ever, but he can be beat up by a vampire slayer. And yeah, so it's just, when it's trying to say, like, this is the second coming of the apocalypse, I don't think this show is on a strong suit. And one of the reasons for that is because the people who die, the stakes are incredibly low. Because these are people who have appeared like once or twice.
Right.
So I don't care about the fucking bouncer at the Bronze.
Right.
I don't care about Willow's stupid... Sorry, guys, I gotta turn off my phone. Yes, that is The Legend of Zelda. Picking up a bomb as my... Jesus Christ, people. Enough with the dick pics.
Popular.
That is actually my dick pic sound.
Oh my god, that goes off all the time, dude!
Did you just now realize that?
Well, I mean, how, like, I'm supposed to...
I mean, they're not dick pics every time, but it's the messaging app I use that exclusive, like, this is, if you want to send a dick pic, you have to use this app to send it to me. I will not accept it in any other form. So
that's fair.
So, yeah, sometimes these are conversations, too. But yes, that's...
You get a lot of dicks.
I do. I'm going to make a collage.
Like a gradient.
Yeah. So I'm not into it. Like the Willow's stupid friends in the AV club that we'd never heard before and never saw their face and never heard their voice. Mm-hmm. These are not effective stakes for me to care about the outcome of this grand battle for the soul of Rancho Cucamonga. However, if the malevolent entity is fucking with you with your dead mom, now I feel like I want to see this guy go down. Right? Yeah. Now I'm worried about what the fucking damage this thing can do before you manage to take it down is. You see what I'm getting at?
I do. So there's 2 points I want to cover before we move on to the next pairing. And one is, how badass was it that Dawn, figured out some magic real quick to banish the damn thing?
I did not get that.
She, had to dig out books and start chanting while it's cutting out her face.
Oh, sorry. For some reason, I thought you meant Joyce.
No, I
said
Dawn. You
literally said Dawn. I don't know why I misheard that.
It's okay. But...
Yeah,
point being, did you appreciate that badassery, or did it ring false?
Okay, so let me get my speculating hat on. It's been a bit of a frustration for me that so many people can be good enough at magic. Like, we're supposed to believe that Willow has this unique talent, and yet Giles is able to borrow some magic and do fine. Jonathon, we've never seen the man study. He's probably never studied in his life. And I know you haven't studied in your life, Jonathon. You know why? Because one of the reasons that you're picked on is because you're smarter than everyone else. And, like, you don't have to study because you can just read the book once and retain it.
Oh, that guy.
Yes, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We are both that guy.
I am that guy.
Exactly.
Shit.
So, Jonathon, you do not work hard. Why are you good at magic? So... so that leads me to, like, my frustration with how magic works in this universe, in that, like, you always find this exact spell that you need. However, if I put that aside and say, okay, this malevolent entity is trying to get under her skin and is doing a very good job of it, could he or she or they, like, use a method that could be easily dispelled with an easily found spell in order to leave that impression? Because the goal here is not to hurt Dawn. It's to get under her skin and make her think that Buffy is not going to be there for her.
Right, and that is my next question. What do you think about that?
That is the most effective use of a apocalyptic antagonist at this point. Like, this really feels like the stakes are real. Maybe no one's gonna die, but there's going to be some scars here, and there's going to be some pain. Okay,
so to be clear, it wasn't the demon that told Dawn that Buffy wasn't going to be there for her when, you know, the cards are down, the chips are down, whatever that saying is, and it all comes to fuck all. Buffy's not going to be there for Dawn, according to this Joyce ghost thing.
I didn't think that was Joyce. I thought that was...
Okay.
Like, if I was going to fuck with Dawn and I showed up as Joyce, you don't want to know how I do it? I'd have a nice glowing white light so it looks like I'm coming to you from heaven. That's how I fuck with you. That's why I'm into this malevolent entity, okay?
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so you think that they are, that
I think
Glowy Joyce is trying to sow the seeds of doubt in Dawn's mind.
I think Glowy Joyce and Poundy Joyce are the exact same thing.
Okay.
It just changed forms because it knows how to play its cards. And this is why I'm into this fucking episode.
It's just two different hand puppets.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Like, this is, you know, I think I just figured out why I love it. You've seen X2, right?
Okay.
Why do we love X2? Because of Mystique. How she changes into another form and then fucks with someone and pulls the rug out from under our heroes.
Yay.
And it makes the entire fucking thing. Like, that moment when she's laying on top of Wolverine and she's being Jean Grey and he's like, "You're not Jean." And she says, "No, I could be Storm. I can be anything you want." And then he changes to little 15-year-old Rogue. And I was like, that's fucked up. And that's a good villain.
And that's when Wolverine pushes her the fuck off and is like, "Get the fuck away from me."
Right.
Yeah, that was
that moment got under my skin so hard, and this is what they're doing now.
Yeah.
This is what this thing is doing to her. It's like, okay, yeah, evil demon's coming for you. You're scared. You need your family. Here's the ghost of your mom. And that's when you plant the fucking seed to drive a wedge between these two.
That is solid villainy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I hope I'm right about this because I've been really disappointed by the villains in this show so far.
I suppose we'll find out.
Yeah.
Okay, so next pairing.
Wow, we talked about that one for long.
Who do you hate most?
Who do I hate most? I'm going to have to go with Willow and Cassie.
Yeah, that one blew.
It was so distracting that it wasn't Tara.
Right. It's like... I know they didn't get Amber Benson at, like, the last minute or some shit, but, like, seriously, guys, just write a different scene. Don't try to, like,
do you know who could have been?
Shoehorn your shit in there.
Miss Carpenter.
Yeah. That would have been great.
Following in her footsteps.
Like, if Miss Carpenter had come back and told her about Tara, said, "You know what? I've been talking to Tara on the other side. She was a wreck when she came over. She's so worried about you."
Right.
We all are.
And
because you're evil.
And she could have had a conversation like, I was so proud of you. You know?
Yeah, I was
You've come so
proud.
far.
Yeah, but you gave in to the magics. I mean, I'm the one who started you down this path, Willow. Like, that would have been brilliant. But no, they pull some bitch she's never met.
Right.
Someone she's only heard of.
Yeah.
Like, guys, what's worse? Jane fucking wrote this one. Jane Espenson, what were you thinking, woman?
I think they may... This might be giving Jane too much credit, but it's been a while since Miss Carpenter has been on. So maybe they couldn't get her back. Or, like, sometimes, like in our job, your superiors just hand you something and you do the best you can with it.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
You have to have this one actress in this episode.
Or, like...
shoehorn her in somewhere.
Exactly. We've got a holding contract with her.
Yeah.
So...
Like, that's the only thing I can think of, because these, like... Oh, man. Gotta give it to Allison Hannigan. She does her damnedest with it. She acts her little ass off.
And Azura Sky is good in this role, too.
Oh,
It's distracting, and it's...
It's just... It doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. And I was...
doesn't freaking work.
I was really hoping there would be some kind of explanation. Like, I needed something... You know, we already had she was killed by human hands, therefore we can't bring her back with magic.
Yeah.
So give me something like that. She was killed with human hands, so she can't cross that barrier.
Well, the excuse they used was, well, you can't see her because of what you did. You killed people, Willow. You killed people. And so now you're locked out forever. You can't ever see your love, or at least not while you're living.
This didn't work.
There's only one way to see her, Willow. God, that was so fucking dumb.
Yeah, it was bad.
It just, you're trying to hit my emotional cores and you're hitting my bullshit meter on high.
Yeah, I would have thrown tomatoes at the screen.
I think I might have. First time.
You know what? It also, like, you could have... God, I would have loved Xander and Jesse.
That would have been
like, bring back, like, I don't know if they...
That would have been so good.
Yeah.
Like, Xander, bro, remember? I used to be your best dude, and now you're here with all these chicks, and I don't, like, what happened to you, bro?
Yeah. Remember when I used to call him Meth?
Yeah. Xander's not important enough to get a dead person.
I know, but it's not about Xander. It's about this show remembering who it is.
Yeah.
And what it is, and what it's good at. So, yeah, I don't really have anything else to, like...
Yeah.
When Azura Sky turned into a flaming butthole, I was like, okay, that's kind of ruining the magic for me. But...
Yeah, that was weird. I'm glad that Willow got the opportunity to figure out that this thing was no bueno.
Yeah.
But, because, I mean, she is the smartest. That's her job to figure that shit out.
Okay.
They did break out the theme of the show, which is from beneath you, it devours.
So, apparently that's not in reference to the worm that Anya made a couple episodes ago.
No, it is not in reference to that at all.
Okay.
I can confirm that thing.
From beneath you, it devours. And it's like, I wish you'd chosen something more cryptic than... Like, I get that you could, like, you know, how they tried to resurrect the Master, and it's like, the ones who were near him. The ones who were closest to him. And I'm like, that's cute, but no. Anyway, I want something a little more difficult to parse.
Yeah, from beneath you, it devours. Almost as though they were on top of a hellmouth.
Yeah. I want...
Shocking.
I want something that I, like, will... Over the course of the season, I will start to have theories about what it means, you know? That's not going to happen with From Beneath You, It Devours.
Right. It's like... Can't they just have Hellmouth t-shirts? Seriously.
Yeah, it's... and then the worm becomes, like, retrospectively, it's like, hey, guys, red herring, I'm gonna hit you with it. Can you see how red it is?
It's a red.
I'm remembering, I think it was on the Dresden Tiles podcast that they were talking about a beige herring.
Oh, God.
A beige herring is when This is, of course, Natasha and Roshan making stuff up.
Of course.
But a beige herring is when you think it's something and that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Well, maybe we're wrong. Who's to say?
I don't fucking know.
Okay, who's next annoyingest on your list?
Ooh, that's tough. Because I want to close with talking about the two chuckle fucks.
Okay.
I really liked Buffy, but you didn't.
Well, I actually don't hate that scene. I just hate that actor.
Okay.
So, I think we can either talk about Buffy and actor guy or Spike and Assorted.
Let's talk Spike and Assorted. What does Spike do this? I remember what he does next. Does he have a date this? Yes, he does.
He, let's see. He was seen speaking with a young woman at the Bronze, and she seems to invite him to come home with her. Mm-hmm. And then we see Spike vamp out and kill her.
Right. But that's all he does.
And that's all we do.
Yeah.
That
was legitimately a good twist. I was into this.
Yeah.
So,
because it kind of looks like he's being really sweet and having a date.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you got a soul now.
And I felt a little vindicated, although my thing was turned over the next episode, and I'm like, look, Spike has a soul. His soul was always rotten. He was always terrible.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I'm actually really glad we saw the next episode, so I didn't have to put up with a week of you going, Spike was evil the whole time. It's like, yes, he was. Shut up.
I'm not. No, he's always been evil, but my point is, like, his soul was already rotten. Like, what's the point of adding a soul to someone who sucks?
Well, okay, so his soul was an incel.
Yeah.
It wasn't a murderer, okay? There's levels of evil, and writing bad poetry because you fawn over unavailable bitches is not as bad as murder. And really the only thing he ever did was being kind of embarrassing.
Yeah. Give him time.
He was in his 30s.
When you get, like... I feel like when you have that kind of money and don't get what you want out of women for that long, there is no good turn to be had at the end there. He
was like middle class. He wasn't upper middle class. And it was Victorian.
He was dressed very nice.
Yeah, but everyone had like 12 pieces of clothing on at all times during those days. I mean, Victorian era was the height of too much fashion.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, he just kind of, that's all we see of him. He gets no dialogue, nothing whatsoever, but it does confirm what Buffy and her dead person are talking about.
Yeah, and this Buffy therapy session I was kind of into.
Yeah, because if anyone needs therapy, it's fucking Buffy.
Right, and just, like, we've tried to cross that line. Like, sometimes vampires are just mindless, evil things, and sometimes they want to have conversations and have broader goals and ambitions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So...
sometimes the people they were are still, like, their personality traits are still totally there.
Yeah. So I liked this with her discussing, like, why the fuck does she keep dating vampires? And
right? Yeah, that seems like a terrible plan.
It's a really bad plan.
It's like if I dated cilantro. My mortal enemy.
No, it would be like you dating a TERF. Yes. That's the reaction she should be having.
Oh no, that's also my reaction to cilantro.
It's like, if you dated a TERF,
ooh,
and you were like, well, she's different when she's around me, I'd be like, she's a fucking TERF. So when Buffy is like, Spike is different now, I'd be like, God damn it, Buffy, he's a fucking vampire.
Yeah, he eats people. He's eaten lots of people. He ate 2 Slayers.
Yeah, and then there's, like, fucking Angel. Like, why did you not stake him? He turned bad once with your soul-stealing vagina. Why did you let him back in? He's like, okay, risk reward. You could have a really good hit of MDMA, be perfectly happy, and lose your soul again. I'm gonna stick you so that doesn't happen. I still don't know how the fuck he got out of hell.
He just fell out of a portal one day. I remember
never got
so
an
mad.
answer about that.
Right? Like, seriously, it should not be that easy. You cannot just fall naked out of a hole one day and be out of hell. Oh, yeah. and BT Dubs, that whole hell experience, was like a couple months for us. It was 100 years for him.
I know, and he doesn't seem to have changed by it. He's still the same whiny dipshit he always was.
Right? You would think that would change a man. Like, he'd be quieter or louder or something. But no, he's just fucking... Maybe that's the thing about, like, vampires. They can't grow.
I don't know what specifically else I want to say about this, because, like, I just enjoyed the chemistry between these two. Okay,
that's fair.
And then he drops a bomb on her that Spike is the one who sired him.
Yes, he does.
And she stakes him.
Yeah.
Which I was a little sad about, but...
He needed to get staked.
He did.
Yep.
And so does Spike.
Yeah. He kept attacking her in weird times.
Right.
Yeah. And that leads us to the chuckle fucks.
No, it doesn't. There's one thing we need to cover beforehand.
Okay.
That is Giles.
Oh, yeah.
I feel vindicated. Clearly these women who are being chased down and murdered in various areas are potential slayers. Or maybe there can be more than one slayer.
But we have more than one slayer right now.
Yeah, but that's because Buffy died.
Okay, so loopholes are a thing in Slayer lore, apparently. So
has Faith died? And
Faith has not died. But you were just saying we can't have more than one Slayer. And
we can in these specifics.
Provably false.
But if it's a chain that needs to happen, if Faith needs to die, like we've now got 3 Slayers to contend with. We have two active Slayers currently. Right. So and there's 3 dead ones.
If it's that easy, why don't we just stop her heart for a while and then get it going again?
I brought this very idea up in the 2nd season.
Yeah, I know.
When Kendra came on board.
Yeah. We'll just do a chain. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you think that these women that are being murdered all over the place and apparently in a Watcher's house are potential slayers. What makes you think that?
Because she's in a Watcher's house.
That's fair. But can't she be his kid?
No.
Why not?
Watchers don't have families.
Yes, they do. Wesley's dad was a Watcher.
He cheated.
Just because Giles can't make a relationship work doesn't mean Watchers don't have families.
I don't know. The first 2 we saw, the way they hauled ass and fought back, suggests that they are Slayers in waiting.
Okay.
Because we know that Kendra was groomed.
Oh, yeah.
On the off chance that she might be a Slayer.
Yeah.
So
her culture takes it very seriously.
Yes, that is what I think is going on.
Okay. Fair. I wonder why no one, came to Buffy's door with, can we talk to you about Slayers?
I feel like there has to be some detail of Buffy's life that kept her off the radar until she was 15.
She was really vapid.
She's like, this can't be a Slayer. She's stupid.
Yeah, she's a dumbass.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god.
There have to be dumbass Slayers out there.
Oh yeah. That was the entire premise of the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie, that she's this dumbass, blonde, mall-loving bimbette, and suddenly she's got this, holy calling, and it's like, well, what the fuck do I do with this? I don't want this.
Do we want to cover the movie when we're done with this?
I mean, we can.
Okay.
We'll discuss it offline.
Yeah, we will. Also, I'm not going to get you guys' hopes off, but if any of you have connections to other movie coverage podcasts, because I would love to join forces with another podcast to discuss Buffy, the movie.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Do you think we can get on the Bechdel cast? Wouldn't that be awesome?
I'm sure we can.
I don't know anyone that famous, though.
No, I'm not.
Can you reach out to the Queer LA Vagina Lovers Network and see if we have any connections there?
Yeah, I'll tap the dyke tree. It's not
Shake the dyke tree, see what falls out.
It's not a thing, you guys. I'll see what I can do, though.
Fuck you. If I needed a knife thrower for my kid's birthday party, I would find one in one weekend from your fucking dyke tree.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you can't get a 20-something podcast DM.
Okay, that's fair. But you have to, like, it's a lot easier to find a knife thrower because I'm friends with the Ren Fair and the Fire Spinners and, okay, I've got some weird friends, you guys, and it's fun. Our parties are off the hook.
You know how straight people say, which of you is the man and which of you is the woman?
Yeah.
I feel like lesbians should say, which of you is the software engineer and which of you is the knife thrower?
Fair. Okay, high five for that. Okay, yeah. So let's see, do we have anything else to say about, like, Buffy's therapy session? No.
No, or Giles, but I feel like that's what has to be going on.
Okay, and we've talked about Giles and the girls, so now we're on to the Chuckle Fucks?
Yes, we are on to the Chuckle Fucks. How do you feel about this?
I think it's the most interesting thing they've done in the entire show.
Really? We go that far. But go. Talk about what do you love about this?
Okay, so we start with Jonathon and Andrew returning from Mexico to do something.
Right.
And they're returning from Mexico against their own good judgment because they keep having this terrible dream in which something's talking to them. And it says something in a language that isn't English, which Andrew helpfully translates as it eats your butt first.
From beneath, that was actually really cute.
That was good. And so they go back to Sunnydale, and they're kind of on this quest, and they're like friends again. And they've got all their weird toys out, and they're using all their tricks to do something. And they're being real. The show's doing a good job of concealing their goal from us. But pretty soon into our adventure, we find out that a third is also there. Oh yes, Warren is haunting the shit out of Andrew.
Yeah.
But not Jonathon.
Oh
no.
Yeah. So this is another reason why I like this entity. It knows, like, it gives me questions like, how do you find this information out? Are you omnipresent? Have you seen what's happened in Sunnydale before? Or can you plumb the depths of someone's mind and figure out what makes them tick?
Or did he just go out and buy the Buffy DVDs?
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think, like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, their goal is, Jonathon wants to uncover this seal at the bottom of, underneath the school.
Yeah.
Which, like, Xander, God damn it, Xander.
Why didn't you put concrete over that?
Why didn't you tell someone you found it? You know he didn't miss it.
Well, it was buried under some dirt. They had to do some serious digging to get there. But also, like, seriously, pour a 100-foot concrete slab over that bad boy and put the gym there.
Right. Yeah. So their goal is to find this thing, and Jonathon wants to do something to make sure it doesn't get activated.
Yeah, he wants to, like, put a hot staple gun to it or something. He's there for good reasons. And they're kind of really bonding during this quest. They're, like, talking, and Jonathan's like, I kind of miss high school. Like, yeah, it sucked, but, there were, like, high points, and, not every single aspect of it sucks. There were parts that weren't so bad.
Right.
And meanwhile, Andrew's like, dude, you tried to kill yourself.
Yeah. So I want to talk about Jonathon.
Okay.
So the arc of Jonathon is like he's not having a good time in high school. He has a couple adventures adjacent to Buffy, but like he gets suicidal at some point, and he's also the one who gives Buffy the award because like the thing about kids who are picked on is we can see you a lot better than you think we can.
Yeah.
So now. Our next time of Jonathon is the Jonathon changes history to be the world's best person at everything.
Yeah, he changes the world so that he can be Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. And it's like, I get it because you want to paper over and be great and have people see that you're great.
Yeah.
And that doesn't last or go very well.
Yeah.
And then we have him, like, you know, here you're at a low point. He wants to study magic. There's probably not a good major. Probably doesn't have the money or the resources to get into UC Sunnydale. So you're stuck in the early aughts with nothing to your name. And this is like when the service economy really was... this is when the service economy became firmly stuck as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. Like, this is, like, you're still, if you worked at McDonald's then, you're making just as much in constant dollars as you are now.
Yeah, so I was not that much older than these kids at that time, and I had a choice of work service jobs the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. Or join the military.
Right.
And I chose the military because there was, no kidding, guys, nothing else.
Yeah. And they tell you that, like, well, like, flipping burgers isn't beneath you. And I'm like, no, it's not. But we can clearly see that there is no way forward and they're not paying us enough to survive. And that's not going to be fixed by working hard at this job. We're, like, we fucking see you. Mm-hmm. You know? So, like, I see how he falls into this trap of these two shitty people and becomes shitty himself. Yeah. Right? Like, I am not going to say that deep down he was a decent person because no, that ship fucking sailed. But I understand how he got there.
He was tofu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After hanging out with these two toxic fucks, Warren especially, after being on the lam for a while, which has to suck more than working at McDonald's or being in high school, like, he convinces Andrew that they're going to go back and they're going to do this thing. Now, here is, like, this is why I find Snape a compelling character. I do not like Snape. I do not think Snape is a good person, but I respect the fact that he at least was trying to do something good with what was left of his life. That's why I like Book Jamie, you know?
In Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones, yes. Yeah. So, like, yeah, like, Jamie is very... honest about, no, like, that good person ship has sailed. I am not a good person. Yeah. But I genuinely want a little less suffering in the world. I'm going to do what I can to make that happen. You know?
I'm already bad. I pushed a 10-year-old out a window while fucking my sister, but I'm just going to stop doing bad things. I'm not even hoping for redemption. It's just, I'm all done.
And that's what I liked about it. Jonathon was not looking for any kind of recognition or any kind of praise. He was just like, at least maybe I can undo something bad. At least I can undo a little bit of the suffering I've introduced into this world, right?
Yeah.
But my favorite part about this is that he gets his ass stabbed and ends up activating the goddamn seal with his blood. Because above all, of all of the traits that I have given you and everything that Jonathon has been through, there is one particular aspect of him that is more important than every other one. And it is that you are a fuck up, Jonathon. Like, you are bad at this.
Yeah, he does fail at everything.
That was like, yes, thank you.
He does fail at every fucking thing he does.
You can't even kill yourself, man.
Oh, God. I was convinced you were going to be like, he's a bleeder. No.
You fucked it up, Jonathon. Because we can't expect anything better from you. Because you're a fuck up, and that's what you do.
And honestly, to get killed by Andrew,
yeah,
God, that's gotta be the worst.
So yeah, like when you enter hell, I'm sure someone will pat you on the back and say, "Good try, kid."
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I appreciate the effort.
Come over here. We're gonna put some cactuses in your ass. Okay.
Yep. So. That is that episode. Was it worth the build-up that I gave you for...
Oh my God, I don't care. Oh wow. We've gone a long time.
Yeah, I mean, we used to go like 90 minutes, but lately we've been breezing through them because there's been a lot of chaff lately. So...
Yeah, and while I hate this episode, there's a lot in it.
Yeah. So, like, I don't really feel like we need to dive too far into the next one because it's not as eventful.
Okay.
It's a lot of them standing around and saying and trying to figure out if Spike actually did this thing.
Yeah.
When you all know that Spike did the thing. He's got, like, Holden had no reason to lie.
Yeah, except that when they all get together and compare notes afterward, Buffy kind of starts, like Willow especially, is like, no, that person I was talking to was evil and was not Cassie. That was definitely, I don't know who that bitch was, but Willow, like, from the start knows that her thing was a spirit fucking with her. And when she hears Dawn's story, she knows that was a spirit fucking with Dawn. And when she hears Buffy's story, she knows something about that was fucking with you. And because of that, they suspect that not everything that these entities say is true. In fact, these entities lie.
Yes, but there's a very clear piece of evidence saying that this is true, and that is that this was not the malevolent entity. This was a vampire, and this vampire was fresh out of the fucking ground. If this vampire was trying to fuck with them,
he didn't have any time to...
He didn't know who Spike was unless Spike was the one who did it.
Yeah.
This is all of them trying to find a way that Spike didn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and it was very fucking obvious to me that this is you assholes trying, again, doing the thing that I hated that you did with Anya, where it's like, let's look for a reason not to. Okay.
That's fair. Okay, so what do you think... How do you think he's doing it? Do you think his chip stopped working? What?
I don't know. I don't... Has he tried to feed on anyone since the chip was put in?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay.
But it gives him a blinding migraine.
So perhaps he just didn't notice the migraine? Can this entity offer pain relief?
There's a point in this where because he's staying with Xander at the moment, there's a point where he wants to leave the apartment and he pushes Xander aside, and when he, roughly shoves him, he gets a zap in his head, and he does the thing where he presses his palm.
Okay, so the chip is still working.
Thing. Or was he acting that?
I don't know. I don't care.
You don't care?
That's kind of not relevant to the discussion at hand.
Okay.
So let's detour a little bit and talk about Anya's scene with him.
Okay.
So I really feel like they missed an opportunity to use both of their acting chops when Anya gets caught snooping.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, everything, like, I love having sex with you. And she's like, she could have said, I'm just kind of lonely.
Yeah.
And they've also tried to kill you. So... Yeah. I just, like... Can we talk for a bit? Like, could have played it off like that. Like, or even like, yeah, I kind of needed to feel... I needed to be with someone or have sex with someone who hasn't tried to kill me before. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Who hasn't destroyed... Who has neither broken my heart nor tried to kill me.
Yeah.
So...
And, we did okay last time.
Yeah.
Anya would totally
And she
say
could
that.
be like, yeah, I'm sorry, it was dumb. And he'd be like, no, come here. And like, he totally could have played it off.
Yeah, and they might have even cuddled.
And then she could have had the steak. And she's like, why do you have the steak? It's like, Xander gave it to me. He still doesn't trust you. He doesn't trust any demon. Like, you know how that is? And that could...
Yeah.
So...
Wow.
She could have... like,
That's a way better scene.
Isn't it? And if he was aware of his facilities and aware if he was doing it, he might have confessed to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it's that out of character for Anya either.
No, it really isn't.
Yeah.
She's totally the type to be like... Well, remember when she started dating Xander and the way she, like, asked him out was like... I like your lumpy man body. We should go to prom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, she is not one for subtlety.
Yeah, I feel like these two could do some commiserating. So,
yeah.
All right. So it turns out that Spike is killing these people, and then Buffy chases him down to his lair where she takes out his vampire army. And once again, this show fucking chickens out.
Yup.
And
he's being controlled.
He's being controlled, and when he finally, like, drops down and says, do it, she should have fucking done it. Like, it doesn't matter whether he was controlled at this point. He can be controlled. It is a risk you cannot run anymore, Buffy. Like, would you fucking face the fact of what you are and what you're supposed to be doing? There's a dozen dead people that you just put out of their misery because of him. Like, when does the fact that he feels bad about it stop weighing so much on the scales of justice, you know?
But he has a soul now.
I don't...
And he feels bad. He feels bad.
And it's just... And I knew this was coming. You know how I knew this was coming? Because they fucking chickened out with Anya, too.
Because they vilified him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
But, you know, I got nothing. No, this is some, like...
It's just, like, you know how... Like, we talked about it before. The soul rotting. Like... Both Anya and Spike could have had really good, meaningful stuff here, but you're wasting it. You know why? Because these characters are around too long, and you don't know what to do with them.
Yeah, maybe. So this one's called Sleeper.
Uh-huh.
Like Sleeper Agent.
Yeah, I caught that.
So, Sleeper Agents have a trigger.
Mm-hmm.
What's Spike's trigger?
Getting dumped?
I'm just going to go ahead and spoil you and say, no, that's not it. But I'm sure you'll figure it out.
I just don't care. I'm so mad. He's a risk. Get rid of him.
Okay, that's fair.
Like, demons do what's in their nature. Mm-hmm. This is his nature.
Yeah.
And he's fighting his nature. And, like, you're not giving the other demons you kill time to fight their nature. You don't give them that opportunity. Fuck the vampires. Maybe they can't be saved unless they have a soul. What about all the other demons?
So, like, if I had a gun that just randomly went off sometimes and, you know, had already killed 12 people, I would smelt it.
Yeah.
But
if it was attached to your arm, I'd get rid of your arm.
Yeah.
You couldn't do that, I'd throw your ass in a lake. Sorry.
Okay, so what if it was like a historical gun that belonged in a museum?
Throw it in the fucking lake.
Yes.
My God, why is this so hard?
Because people love their guns.
I just... shoot it into the sun. I don't care. Glorify its exit. Go out with a bang.
Yeah.
Go out with 12 bangs. I don't care.
It already had 12 bangs.
Like,
that's the problem.
So I liked the first episode. I liked it a lot because it's like I felt like it was a very effective use of the stakes, except for the Willow bit.
It is it is an episode that was widely discussed. And I'll leave it at that. Okay. Yeah.
So, those are our episodes, guys. Sorry we breezed through the second one, but it's just like...
I'm not sorry.
You just disappointed me. It's like...
Yeah.
You came over and passed out before we even got our dicks out. Like...
And I feel like it still had enough of the, like, gross from the last episode that it was like, I can't get that gross taste out of my mouth.
We did have a black vampire. We haven't seen one of those in a while.
Yeah, and we killed her within 5 minutes of meeting her.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I feel like she made an impression, though.
Well, yeah. I mean, she vamped her little ass off, but she's still dead.
I did like how she gay panicked him. Where she's like, yeah, let's take these two. I'll take the guy, you take the girl. Or did you want to switch?
That was hot.
That was kind of good.
Yeah.
And then he freaks out and kills her.
Well, yeah.
Because Spike is a putz.
Yeah, and Soul Spike is... Anyway, so thanks, guys. We will see you next week.
With some Angel, which, like, yeah.
Angel.
Shut up. Guys, I'm getting real frustrated with Angel. I'm hanging on because there's not that much left. And I will finish it because I am stubborn. But
you only have like a season and a half to go.
I know.
And, yeah.
So I'm liking this season of Buffy, but there's been some really disappointing spots.
I'm just...
No, I'm not. I liked that last episode of Buffy. That's what's going on, and that's the trajectory I want this season to stay on.
Okay, well, we're gonna find out.
All right. See you later, y'all. Bye. Bye.
That was an Unspoiled Network podcast.